regarding the casualty's health.
Hey, are you okay?
Alright, it can be, hey, are you okay? Sir, man, can you hear me? Can you perform first aid? Any of those things. We're going to say the casualty is unresponsive. Alright, next thing he's going to do is direct 2 bystanders to grab an AED, which is a defibrillator, and for 1 to go grab a medic.
Hey, you go grab an AED. Hey, you go grab a medic.
Alright, that's his cue to then kneel down next to the casualty. He's going to move the arm closest to him on the casualty. He's going to move it above the casualty's head. He's then going to make sure that the arms are straightened and that the legs are straightened. He's then going to get a C grip with his left hand. He's going to put it on the back of the casualty's head. He's going to reach across the casualty, securing the casualty's arm to their side. He's then going to grab onto like the belt and waist area. He's going to roll the casualty, supporting the head the entire time, and roll him as a single unit towards himself. You're then going to work your way top to bottom. You're going to lower that arm, make sure the other arm's straight, straighten out those legs. Once we see that the casualty is in a generally straight line, we are then going to prompt you. We're going to say, hey, casualty does not appear to be breathing. Now, to confirm if he's breathing or not, you need to go down and check the casualty. He's going to do a head tilt chin. He's going to have 2 fingers on the bottom of the chin of the casualty. He's not going to be using his thumb. He's not going to be grabbing on the jawline of the casualty, just 2 fingers on the bottom. He's going to have his palm flat on the casualty's forehead. He's going to press down with his hand, pull up with his 2 fingers, do a head tilt chin. He's going to look down the body of the casualty, looking for the rise and fall of the chest. He's going to listen and feel for breathing for 15 seconds.
Looking for the rise and fall of the chest, listening and feeling for the breath for 15 seconds.
Notice how he verbalized that he's doing this. We want y'all to verbalize as well, because if not, we're just going to stand here and wait 15 seconds, and it's just going to burn time from the clock. So every single time you go down, head tilt chin, verbalize what you are doing. So you verbalize 15 seconds. All right, we're going to say casualty is not breathing, confirming that he is not breathing. Then he's going to reach into his BLS bag. He's going to pull out the NPA. There's going to be 2 NPAs. There's going to be a clear one and a green one. The clear one's going to be too long, all right? So make sure you guys on test day grab the green one. It's going to be the correct size. To confirm that it's the correct size, you will have to measure from the nose to the ear of the casualty or the nose to the jaw of the casualty. Once he confirms that that is the correct NPA, he'll then reach into the BLS bag. He's going to pull out the water-based lubricant from the bag, apply it to the NPA. Once the NPA is lubed up, he's then going to do a pig nose method, meaning he's just going to press up on the nose, expanding with the thumb of his left hand that was on the casualty's forehead, expanding those nostrils so that the NPA can go in easier. When he puts that NPA in, the bevel is the part of that NPA that's cut at an angle. There's the NPA over there if you guys want to look at it as well. So notice how the NPA is going to be cut at an angle, but that's called the bevel. That's going to be facing the septum, the center of the nose. He's going to put that NPA into the casualty. And come test it, if the NPA is not going in easy to the other nostril, you are allowed to pull out that NPA, re-lube, and then place it into the other nostril.
Perfect. On test day, if this happens, you re-lube both times. I'll stop the candidate. I'll then check. If I can get it in, then you'll be a no-go for failure to correctly put the NPA in. If I cannot, right? So, for example, I can't get it, I will say NPA is secure because it's a faulty equipment. It's not your fault. Does that make sense? So, NPA is secure.
Once the NPA is notionally secured, right? He's then going to see if that NPA even works. Then again, he's going to do another head tilt chin lift, palm flat on the casualty's forehead, 2 fingers on the chin, push down, pull up. He's going to do the same thing as before.
Looking for the rise and fall of the chest, listening, feeling for the breath for 15 seconds.
We will state that the casualty is still not breathing, meaning that the NPA didn't work or it's not in properly, right? So what he's going to do, he's going to do a head tilt chin. He's going to pinch the nose and give the casualty 2 breaths, 1 second in between.
1.
We will say the chest did not rise, meaning that there's an obstruction in the airway, or the head tilt chin lift wasn't good enough the first time. So then you're going to do another more deliberate head tilt chin lift.
1.
We will say the chest still did not rise. At which point, something's still blocking the airway. You're then going to go into your chest compressions. You can have the bottom hand should be out extended, hand up on top, you can interlace those knuckles. Notice how his arms are straight, his shoulders he's on top of those hands. He's not bending his arms. He's going to give 30 compressions at the rate of 100 per minute, and he's going to verbalize this while he gives compressions.
30 compressions, 100 per minute. 2, 3,
You will
30.
do this for 30 compressions. We will say 30. You will then do a head tilt chin lift again. Give 2 breaths.
Checking inside the
Notice
mouth.
how he's looking in the mouth in between each breath. He was doing compressions to try and force that object stuck in the airway out into the casualty's mouth. While he's giving those breaths, he looks in. We'll state you see an object in the casualty's mouth. With the proper method, you will have 2 fingers, your pointer and your middle finger. You will reach into the casualty's mouth with the J hook, removing the object from the casualty's mouth. At this point, you need to confirm that the casualty can breathe or is breathing. So you do a head tilt chin. Same thing as before, that look, listen, feel, but verbalize what you are doing.
Looking for the rise and fall of the chest, listening, feeling for his breath for 15 seconds.
At this point, we're going to have an awkward standoff because we're not supposed to give you any cues. Then you will realize that you have to give the casualty 2 breaths.
1.
Once you get those 2 breaths after the 15 seconds, we will state you see the chest rise and fall with your breaths, but he's still not breathing. Meaning you cleared that obstruction in the casualty's airway. However, he's still not breathing on his own. Now at this point, you've been doing this for about 2 minutes. We need to see if he's even alive, so you're going to feel for a pulse with 2 fingers, skin-to-skin contact. So if you have that glove on, you need to remove it. Feeling for the side closest to you, not reaching over the casualty. Side closest to you next to the Adam's apple.
Checking for pulse for 5 to 10 seconds.
All right, from here on out, everything is going to be 5 seconds. Feeling for a pulse for 5 seconds, all right? Yeah,
Pulse
you will
for 5
state
seconds.
you do not feel a pulse. Now to get this casualty's pulse, we need to do chest compressions to start his heart, right? So it's the same thing as before. Bottom hand's extended, top hand, knuckles interlocked. Body's a generally straight line from his shoulders down to his hands, and he will state he's giving 30 compressions at the rate of 100 per minute.
All right, 30 compressions, 100 compressions per minute. 1, 2,
30.
1.
Then goes back into compressions because you're trying to start his heart. This is a 2-minute cycle.
4, 5,
Once we see you
6,
perform the cycle
7,
correctly and you go for the second one, we will stop you saying 2 minutes has elapsed. However, if we do not see you do it correctly the first time and we do not stop you on that second set of compressions, you did something wrong along those lines, okay? We will not stop you until you do it correctly or until those 2 minutes go for the entire 2 minutes. We'll say 2 minutes has elapsed, he's done it correctly. After the 2 minutes have elapsed, the first thing you need to do is see if the compressions and breath you gave him works. You will feel for a pulse, skin-to-skin contact, side closest to him.
Checking for pulse for 5 seconds.
We'll say casualty has a pulse. Now we need to see if those breaths you were giving him made the casualty breathe on their own. We'll do a head tilt chin, look, listen, feel.
Looking for the rise and fall of the chest, listening, feeling for breath for 5 seconds.
5 seconds as well. We will state that the casualty is still not breathing. At this point, you need to go on what's known as rescue breaths. You will do a head tilt chin, pinch the nose, give 1 breath, let go of the nose, and you'll look for the rise and fall of the chest for 5 seconds.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2.
Same as
3,
before,
4,
you'll be doing
5.
this for 2 minutes. Until we see the second one done properly, we will let you continue to do so. So if you're on your 3rd or 4th breath, and we still have not said 2 minutes has elapsed, you're doing something wrong, whether you're still holding onto the nose or you haven't pinched the nose at all. Once you do 2 correctly, we will state 2 minutes has elapsed. Same as before, after the last 2 minutes has elapsed, you will feel for a pulse.
Checking for pulse for 5 seconds.
All right, you feel a pulse. Head tilt chin.
Looking for the rise and fall of the chest, listening, feeling for breath for 5 seconds.
All right, the casualty is breathing and conscious. At this point, we are aware that the casualty is self-sufficient. We will get the arm closest to us. We'll pull it around the casualty, placing their hand onto their chin. We'll then get the leg closest to us, placing it at a 45-degree angle, putting that foot underneath the casualty's knee. We will then roll the casualty as a single unit onto the side away from us.
While supporting the neck.
Once you support the casualty and roll them over onto their side, you will then have to give us a speech, all right? The speech is on 55, number 12. It states,
I will monitor the casualty for life-threatening conditions. If this condition deteriorates, I will continue to do CPR until I'm relieved by medical personnel. I'm unable to do so, physically able to do so, or his breath and pulse have returned.
all right, so the first thing he said, I will continue to monitor the casualty for life-threatening conditions. I will continue to do CPR until. That first part, we need to hear that, okay? However, for the next 3 things, did not need to be in ABC order, nor did it have to be verbatim, exactly. So if you say, until I'm relieved by a medic, that's fine, they're more qualified personnel than you. If you say, until their breathing and pulse are restored, that's fine. If you say, and
I'm too tired to go forward.
yeah, I'm exhausted, I reach fatigue, I'm too tired, this is synonymous with, I cannot want to do so. To signify that you are done, you then have to get back into your proper EIB uniform, right? Meaning, because you took your gloves off to feel for the pulse, you got to put your gloves back on. Once your gloves are back on, we'll then stop the time. Does anybody have any questions about this process? All right, cool. So now we have these dummies laid out. You guys can practice on the dummies. You also can practice on each other in these open areas behind you.